rather than go to business school, I thought I'd go and find one of the big banks that was investing in mining projects around the world and see if they would train me as a financier as well as a geologist. And I went to New York and got a job at JP Morgan. And as a sort of last hurrah, I took 6 months off with a friend and went to the south of Chile to prospect. And prospected really from Puerto Montt down to Punta Arenas, all the way down the southern quarter of Chile and the islands for tungsten and gold and various other things, across a little bit into Patagonia, Argentina. And had a wonderful time, found some things and spots so beautiful I am reluctant to share the location. At the foot of the Torre de Paine, there are treasures. And came back long-haired and bearded and very uncomfortable in a tight suit to Wall Street. And walked in 23 Wall Street to JP Morgan and nobody would speak to me for weeks because I wouldn't cut my hair as a matter of pride. So I had long hair and tight suits, and finally somebody in the gold trading desk asked me if it was really true that people still pound for gold, with great suppressed excitement. I remember taking my colleagues in the training program at JP Morgan around the skyscrapers of Wall Street, looking at the facing stones and telling them geological stories about zoned feldspars and granites and things like that. And people looking at me like it was kind of crazy. It took me several months to adapt from being a field exploration geologist to being a young corporate financier for JP Morgan. But this I finally managed to do and stayed in the mining industry, banked mining and construction companies for several years, went to Australia in 1986 after 5 years with Morgan to head up a mining and finance group that they wanted to set up in Melbourne with a couple of other guys. And after a year I just felt that it was frustrating, even working for a great house like JP Morgan, to be away from mining and mining exploration, geology. Tied up again with Peter van der Spijt, the geologist I'd worked with at Essex Minerals years before, in 1977 in Canada, who by that stage had left the corporate world, raised venture funds and built a large portfolio of exploration gold properties from South Island, New Zealand to Zimbabwe via Fiji and Vanuatu and West Australia in a company called Delta Gold, which he listed in 1983. And I kept in touch with Peter, we were close friends, done a lot of travel and adventures together. And Peter needed a finance director and partner to help him take Delta Gold to the next stage from being an exploration company to a junior producer. And in October 1987, 1 week before the biggest stock market crash since 1929, I joined Delta Gold and shortly found out that they didn't have enough money to pay wages for more than 3 months, and there was nowhere to go for more money because there was no stock market left in December 1987.